Media Network proudly presents a weekly exploration of various spiritual practices with renowned spiritual authors, coaches, teachers, and Dr. Tracy Brown, RScP.
And now, here's Tracy.
Hey everybody, Tracy Brown, and it is Poetry, Prayer, and Practice, where every week we take a look at how can poetry be a part of our spiritual practice, or how do we use prayer more effectively, or what spiritual practices can we integrate into our lives in order to live a life we love. And some weeks we do all three. But today we are going to continue the focus begun last week on money, 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 money. Sometimes, we'll talk about abundance when we really want to talk about money or financial stability or financial freedom. And there's nothing wrong with including that as one element of abundance. But last week we spent the entire time looking at money, and there was a little bit of prosperity and abundance. We looked at different authors, and I shared with you some of the ideas, the concepts, the philosophy around financial freedom, financial flow. And if you were with us, I tapped into the wisdom of a dozen or more different authors who have written about money specifically, and abundance generally, and prosperity generally. So it just seems like today might be a way to go beyond the philosophy, or maybe to integrate the wisdom into practice, integrate the wisdom with our internal compass in a way that helps us really embody what we know and what we want to experience that is related to increasing flow. And it's so funny because I have to admit, and I said this last week, I actually am not in a situation where I am feeling that money is not coming to me. In fact, my situation that got me focused on money last week was that I realized in a certain way I was blocking the flow, because I have so ingrained in my mind that money is coming to me and that money is always available to me, that I was putting a log jam in the place of the cycle, because I wasn't sending out invoices. I've been doing work for clients, and right, I need to invoice them so they will pay me. The invoice goes out, the money comes in. I'm like, wait a minute, why am I being the barrier to this financial flow? And the other piece that for me was so fascinating was that I wasn't aware, like I wasn't consciously delaying sending an invoice, and I was not quote unquote needing, right? I wasn't in survival mode anymore, because yeah, that money needs to come in and it is earmarked for certain things, but I wasn't even paying attention. So today, let's just dive into some things that we can do. And I'll also share a couple of things that I've been doing personally And for me, and maybe for you too, one of the things that I go to all the time, whether it's money or anything else, relationships, career, priorities, rest, health, almost on any topic, for me, I use music. I look for music that has a message. Sometimes I listen to instrumental music or sound healing music, but I'm also, if I'm focused on a topic, I listen to music. And so, one of the songs that I love to use to remind myself of the flow of money and that I am in that flow is Karen Drucker's Money is Coming to Me.
Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Every time I open my heart, I receive all that I need, knowing that God is my source. I relax and let it flow, and I know that money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. I got money. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. I got money. Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming.
Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is Coming to Me by Karen Drucker. If you're not familiar with it, I hope that just little preview into it, got you grounded in it and makes you want to go look it up and listen to the entire chant. It is so fabulous. But sometimes that's what we need, right? It's not always that all we can do or all we need to do is just think about it and shift. Think about it and shift. And so, as part of our spiritual practice or our our spiritual foundation, we can use music. And we can use the music because do you realize what was happening there? Money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. Money is coming to me. I've got money, right? So you've got this rhythm, you've got the affirmation. And how many times have you been told, like, say that affirmation 100 times a day or 70 times a day times 7 days? Some of you are familiar with the fear to faith process. Or someone, a coach or a minister or a spiritual teacher will tell you, right? Just say the affirmation as many times as you can. Well, okay. But sometimes that feels like a school teacher and an assignment that I don't want to do. But if I'm singing it, right? Oh, how many times in a 3-minute song, money is coming to me easily and effortlessly, money is coming to me. Wow. I wonder how many times you actually say that in that 3 minutes. And that is the affirmation being repeated so your subconscious can take it in over and over and over and over. So if you have an affirmation that you use that really works for you related to money, please, drop it into the chat. Or if you have a song that you use that really gets you grounded around money, then you can put that in the chat as well. So that's just one of the examples. I'll share a couple of other examples, but I like at the very top, like money is coming to me from Karen Drucker. One of the books that I referred to last week was the Prosperity Aerobics book by Carrie Bayer. And I do love this little book. It's little, and the way it's designed it is that there are 22 chapters, and each chapter is something for you to do. It's called Prosperity Aerobics, right? If you do aerobics at the gym, right, you go get a workout. And maybe one day, in order to do aerobics, you actually get on the treadmill. And maybe the next time you go to the gym, you take dance, a jazzercise or a Zumba or some type of dance movement class that gets your heart rate up, right? And you have the aerobic exercise, and maybe the next time you do something different. And so what Carrie Bayer does in this book is he gives us 22 aerobic exercises for prosperity. And so since today we're focusing on practices that you can do, then I'm just going to share one of the examples. Well, actually, yes, it's one example from one chapter, but it is a list of affirmations. So started with the affirmations and song from Karen Drucker. And now I'm going to share with you some affirmations that Carrie Bayer has in chapter 2, because maybe one or more of them really will resonate with you. So you might want to take a deep breath and allow your inner wisdom to say, ooh, that one. Or, ooh, yeah, that feels warm and cozy. And others may just wash right through your system. So this first group of affirmations related to prosperity is about earning money, earning things that put you in the flow. So 6 affirmations. Number 1, I now make an abundance of money doing the things I love. Number 2, my job is the pipeline by which I tap the infinite wealth of the economy for my own personal desires. 3, I can earn money doing the things I enjoy most. 4, it's innocent to receive. 5, I deserve to be wealthy. And 6, God is my unfailing supply. Large sums of money come to me quickly under grace in perfect ways. Take a breath. He goes on to add in this chapter some savings affirmations. And these affirmations I have been using. Number 1, the first part of all I earn is mine to keep. Next, my income increases every day, whether I'm working, sleeping, or playing. Number 3, it's pleasurable and easy to save money. And number 4, my income now and always greatly exceeds my expenses. Take a breath. Affirmations about spending on your journey to prosperity. Number 1, since my income always exceeds my expenses, it's a pleasure to spend money within my means. 2, I always pay my credit card bills in full and on time. 3, every dollar I spend comes back to me multiplied. And last, I pay all my bills promptly. Deep cleansing breath. And then he gives us 3 affirmations related to investing. All my investments are profitable. Part of all my profit goes into permanent wealth, current expenses, capital, and reserves. And third, I only invest in winners. All right, let's breathe together. Having heard and felt each of those affirmations, knowing that it's not so much a need to memorize every one of them, but maybe there were 2 or 3 that resonated with you, like, oh, yes, I pay all my bills promptly. Or one of the ones that I'm using right now, it's pleasurable and easy to save money. Pleasurable and easy to save money. Maybe for you, it's easy to save money, or I am building my savings. But I love that in this book, that what the author does is he gives us affirmations around earning, saving, spending, and investing. Because sometimes we get so focused on the earning money, like, oh, I've got to earn more money, when we might not really need to earn more money if we were saving more, or if we were managing our spending, or if we had the ability to invest even small amounts, right? All 4 of those work together. And so, again, these are affirmations from Carrie Bear's The Prosperity Aerobics book. And in chapter 2, he lists all those affirmations. So I know that one of the reasons for me that it's pleasurable and easy to save money is one of the affirmations I'm using right now. I'm using a half dozen affirmations related to money based on what's been going on the last couple of weeks. And that one really resonated with me both intellectually or mentally and emotionally, because I had a little bit of a tug around saving being pleasurable, which I realize intellectually and mentally I actually believe that. Oh my gosh, I love having money in my savings account, so that in case of emergency, there's money there, right? And I don't have to stress, a small emergency, right? Or, I have this emergency fund to cover things that are unexpected. That's why they're called an emergency, right? And that I literally could grow that and not only think about it as for emergencies, but that it's pleasurable and it's pleasurable to save money for bigger things. I'm beginning to shape up some plans for 2024 and 2025, some goals actually. They're not plans yet, but I'm beginning to think of some goals for 2024 and 2025. And what I realize is that while I am a really good manifester and I believe in the ability to manifest things that seem like miracles, I can also contribute to that manifestation or that demonstration by saving what I can that supports those goals being achieved. And so, wow, in the last 4 or 5 days, I've begun to be like, oh, wow, that would be cool to save X amount, because it makes me feel like, oh, yeah, I am helping to make this happen, right? I am contributing to making this happen. I'm taking responsibility for supporting what I'm saying I want to experience in my life. And that's not punishment. It's not punishment. It's pleasurable. It's necessary too, but it's not punishment. And so I was thinking about that last weekend because I had the opportunity to speak at a Unity Church in Wimberley, Texas. It's about a 3.5 hour drive from Dallas, where I live. So I had some really high quality thinking time, reflection time while I was driving, since I was driving by myself this time. So I was like, wow, why is there this kind of seed that I subconsciously have been responding to, the idea that saving is hard? And you're never going to have enough money to save all that you need. I'm like, oh, that's a seed planted even before I could talk. Like, that's a seed that goes back to my family of origin experience. Not that either one of my parents ever said that phrase. No, I don't recall either of them ever saying saving is hard. I can't recall ever hearing either one of them say, you'll never be able to save money because you have to do this and that. But the seed for that was planted growing up in an environment where there were a lot of things that we did not have because we didn't have the money and there were no savings available to provide that. And so, like, in a child's brain, the child connects the dots and it's like, well, saving must be hard, right? Because you don't have everything that you need, let alone everything that you want, and there's no savings. And at the same time, that was in the context of an experience where I never went without food. I mean, we lived in a great house, a beautiful house in a beautiful neighborhood, right? In quote unquote intact family, parents, children, all living in the same house, involved in church. I mean, so my experience was a very healthy experience. And at the same time, there were things that gave me this kind of conflicting message, or this message that saving was hard, or it was a punishment. You had to take away from things you needed in order to save. So our affirmations changed that, because I have changed that over the years in a lot of ways. Because yes, I have saved money, and yes, I have an emergency fund, and there have been times when I didn't save, and there have been times when I have, and I've experienced both in my own adult life. And so I don't really believe that saving is hard or saving is impossible. And I definitely don't believe on a conscious level that saving is a punishment. So this affirmation is one that I'm using right now. It's pleasurable and easy to save money. So maybe there again are one or two that came from these that really resonated with you, depending on whether your focus is earning, saving, managing and monitoring your spending, or investing. Under spending, I pay all my bills promptly. I was like, oh, I'm not using that one, although I did think about it. There's some others that I'm using. I thought about that one a lot because it's so easy to slip into the, oh, I got the bill. Yes, the money's in the bank, and I could pay that bill right now, but it's not due until 2 weeks from now. I'll pay it then. Okay, that's still promptly, if you define promptly as on or before, or on the due date. But I do know that promptly could also be interpreted as soon as I get the bill, I pay it. And I pay it right then and there. I'm out of debt to that utility or to that credit card, or I've paid my obligation, and now I can go on, and I don't even have to think about 2 weeks from now sitting down and going through and writing checks to 10 different people, or writing checks. Yeah. Or, sitting down online and paying online for those 10, which actually, to a certain degree, takes a little bit of time when you wait and do them all at the same time. Or maybe you already have this completely under control, and you just have all of your normal regular bills automated, and when they come, and the due dates, and you just have them automatically paid. I tried that for a while. It didn't really work for me, but I don't know. Maybe I'll try it again. Okay, so today what we're doing is we are talking about practices that help us and prepare us to really do what we want to do and live our lives in a way that allows us to be prosperous and to really get the most out of the money that comes in, and use it in order to really have the life that we want. So let's tap into another chant by Karen Drucker. And it is the prosperity chant that some of you may be familiar with. So let's just hear a couple of minutes of that.
What do I want? What do I desire? What will bring me to my highest good? What do I want? What do I desire? What will bring me to my highest good? Prosperity, prosperity, I claim it, I claim it. Abundance, abundance is mine, is mine. Love, love flows through me, flows through me. I feel joy, all the time, all the time. I can have it, I can have it. I deserve it, I deserve it. I claim it, I claim it. It is mine, it is mine. I can have it, I can have it. I deserve it, I deserve it. I am it, I am it. It is mine, it is mine. Peace, peace fills my heart, fills my heart. I surrender everything, everything. Health, health is my birthright, is my birthright. Passion, passion helps me sing, helps me sing. I can have it, I can have it. I deserve it, I deserve it. I claim it, I claim it. It is mine, it is
mine. So Karen Drucker reminds us again, putting affirmations to music that you kind of want to move to, and you not only are repeating the words and planting the seed in your subconscious, but because if you're like me and you cannot listen to that without moving your body, then you are locking it into the physical as well, right? Into the cells throughout your body, not just in your head. And so that's another one that you can use as a go-to, the prosperity chant by Karen Drucker. And it is amazing to me how deeply I can begin to take in the basic affirmations that mean something to me when I am trying to shift my energy around money. I want to share another tool with you that I have found really, really helpful in incorporating spiritual practice into the way that I think about being in greater alignment with money and with the flow of money. And I mentioned last week the book, The Money Keys by Reverend Karen Russo. And she has this really, really beautiful model and process. It's a model, but it is also a process. And she refers to it as the money map. And the money map, well, there's so much I want to say about the money map. And I've been working the money map over the last week because I've worked it before, I've used it before, and it has been so helpful. And after the show, the poetry, prayer, and practice show last week, I was just thinking about what else do I want to do? Like, what do I want to put into practice now that I've reminded myself of all of the kind of principles? And the money map came to mind, and I shouldn't be surprised because, like I said, I've used it before. And I'm going to tell you about it, and then I'm going to encourage you to look for it. And I am going to commit to you right here in this moment that I am going to bring Karen Russo onto the show and have her, well, there's so many different processes in the book or models in the book. So I may not have her take us through the money map, but it'll be the money map or one or two of the other processes in the book, the money keys. So the money map is basically the, okay, have you heard of a treasure map? Yes. Okay. Where you have heard of a money map, and you're seeing my screen as I'm looking. Hold on. Let's pick that one. So money keys, Karen Russo. See, this is how you know, right? It's a live show, because things like that, working the technology behind the scenes and talking at the same time, but forgetting that you can see some of the technology. Yeah, it's live. That's what happens. We didn't pre-record this and then edit out the little fluffs, the little mistakes. So I'm going to take a deep breath and forget that little kerfluffle ever happened. So in the money keys, Karen shares this beautiful process called the money map. And so one of the reasons I love it again is because it does take us through the spiritual practice, but it forces us to use more than just sitting with our eyes closed and thinking about it. And so I might as well show you the full picture of the money map of when you are creating the money map. You actually draw these different elements, and she leads you through drawing them, and then you add your own information. So you notice that right in the middle is me. Here I am, and here are my beliefs. What are my beliefs about money? What are my superstitions? What do I believe money can do for me? And in the lower left-hand corner, right, I get the opportunity to capture, well, what's true right now? What's so? Like, how much money am I making? How am I spending my money? How do I feel about money? And in the upper right-hand corner, when I finish the whole process, I'm able to say, okay, but this is what's possible. This is where I'm going. But I can't do that until I look in the left-hand corner into what spiritually do I believe about scarcity? What do I believe about the financial reality? Or, last week we did a lot around money is God in action. Well, if I believe that, like, what principles are there for me? And so I get to work through that. And in the lower right-hand corner, what are my habits right now? Am I saving? Am I investing? Am I spending it faster than I can bring it in? What's the circulation, the arc, or the pattern of circulation? And as you already know by now, for me, in that corner, that habit of being in service, knowing I am bringing value into the world consciously, intentionally, and actively, and forgetting to invoice people for what I'm doing, which then means, the good feelings come and the good words come. People tell me how great I am or the work I'm doing is, and how much they love the webinar I presented, or, what they really got out of it. So I'm getting feedback from individuals and the universe, but I'm not getting the money related to that because I'm not sending out invoices, or I was not sending out invoices. I am happy to report since last week, I have sent out invoices for everything that I have done in the first quarter that I had failed to invoice people for. So when you look at that, your own beliefs, what's true now, what's available now, what the spiritual beliefs are, and what my actual habits are, then you are ready to go like, all right, what's possible now? And so this model is in chapter 3 of the Money Keys. And if you go to themoneykeys.com, themoneykeys.com, and look under a tab that would be resources or free resources, something like that, and you scroll down, Karen actually does provide a link to her guiding you through drawing your own money map, as well as the image that I just showed you that shows you kind of what your money map, the elements that are going to be included in your money map. So I highly recommend that you go buy the book, but you don't have to buy the book to actually take yourself through this process. And as I said, I am making a commitment right now that I am going to invite Reverend Karen to come on the show and just talk more about money and how we can approach it from a spiritual perspective to, as the subtitle of her book reads, to unlock peace, freedom, and real financial power. So I hope that the reminder to go to music, to put your affirmations to music, whether it's Karen Drucker's music or Bob Baker does a really great job. You can check him out on Facebook. And he takes a new thought perspective and puts affirmations to music, sometimes very quiet and contemplative, and other times where you just want to rock it out, but it's embedding those affirmations over and over. Or maybe you want to do some affirmation aerobics, as Carrie Bayer offered, or use and build your own money map to get really clear about what is your next step related to being or approaching financial freedom. Excuse me. So my throat's getting a little scratchy. I think that is my body's way of saying, look at the clock, Tracy. And oh, guess what? You only have a few minutes remaining for today's show. So we're going to go out of today's show with another version of a song that is affirmations. And it is also titled Money is Coming to Me. It is Money is Coming to Me from Eddie Watkins Jr. And I will tell you, the last time I was going through a really stressful period related to money a few years ago, this is the song that finally broke through the fear, the anger, the doubt, the dismay, the despair. I was feeling all of that depending on the moment and the day. And I was doing a lot of spiritual practice. I was using prayers and spiritual mind treatment multiple times a day. I had other people doing prayer for me as well, because I wasn't feeling I could hold the belief all by myself. And one day I was walking, because I made myself walk physically every day to get out of my mind, because I really was in a dark place around money. And so one day I was walking and I played this Eddie Watkins song, Money is Coming to Me. And I felt the shift, not only in my brain, but in my entire body. And within 24 hours, everything started shifting. And I played this song every day for at least 30 minutes. After that, every day for at least 30 minutes for 30 days. And at the end of 30 days, everything had shifted in ways that I could not have imagined 30 days earlier. So I can't do a show about using spiritual practice related to money breakthroughs and without playing a little bit of this song. Please enjoy. So I hope you too know that money is coming to you. And when it comes to you, you know exactly what to do with it. You save some, you spend appropriately, and you are able to invest, because all of those things together are what bring you financial freedom. That's this week's show on poetry, prayer, and practice. You do not want to miss. Next week, we are going to be talking about songs as poetry, songs as spiritual poetry. And I've got some really special guests who are joining me. So I will look for you next Tuesday at noon Mountain Time. And of course, if you miss us live, you can always watch the show a little bit later on Facebook and on YouTube. Bye for now.
Thanks for watching. Join us again next week, or watch on demand at www.ntmedia.org or youtube.com/New Thought Media Network. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring. Learn more at www.ntmedia.org.
On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate. New Thought Media Network. Come be you. And please